I'm Todd McAllister with the Texas Air Conditioning Contractors Association. Today I'm in Austin, Texas with three incredibly influential contractors that are on the Texas Air Conditioning Contractors Board of Directors. I'm with Matt Freund, who's our 2017 TACCA president. I'm with Stephanie Marquard, who is a board member out of Kingwood, Texas, who's with the original Kingwood Air Conditioning. And I'm with Roy Jones, who is a member out of Lubbock, Texas from Armstrong Mechanical. Today we're going to talk about workforce development issues, the need for more technicians in the state of Texas, what TACCA is doing to help that process, and what you can do as a contractor to help that process as we move forward. So Roy, Stephanie, Matt, really do appreciate you sitting down to talk about some of the workforce related issues that we're having here in Texas when it comes to HVAC contractors. This has been a long time problem that's been developing for decades now, and now we've kind of run up to a critical mass, I guess you would say, on technicians and what the issues are. What are you all seeing as far as the marketplace goes? What are some of the statistics saying is happening in the Texas marketplace as far as HVAC contractors go and the need for technicians?
Well, statistics are, easy to follow, but the latest ones I've seen, that the projections are we have something like 35% more HVAC related jobs in the next 8 to 10 years than we have today.
Really?
So that right there is a huge demand for people to fill these jobs.
That's a pretty big chunk.
In relation to the construction trades, which is 28%. So we're seeing a larger growth or larger opportunities for the HVAC.
So we're growing, so HVAC is growing at a faster rate than even the construction industry, which is really moving quickly in Texas with all the things that are happening in the population.
Yeah.
So how does this affect, or what are some of the long-term aspects? If you're saying, Stephanie, in the next 8 to 10 years, we have this need for 35% jobs.
There's a huge gap. We are already at the critical stage to where the bodies are not there. We need people in there that are interested in learning a trade. We're willing to train. And in fact, we would prefer to train because we feel like, you get your basics at your school, but again, getting back to the statistics, we've got a huge problem. And lots of jobs need to be filled, but we're looking for the candidates.
So when they say that we've got this shortage of people to fill the jobs that are coming, if it's 35% in Texas, and I think nationally they say it may be upwards of 20% to 25% nationally. Texas is obviously growing faster. These aren't necessarily just technician jobs, right? I mean, there's other aspects in the industry. You may start as a technician or an installer, but there's other things you can do in our industry, right?
Yeah, the typical career path, if there is such a thing, is you'll come in and learn the trade. Okay, and that'll be as an installer, maybe a maintenance technician or something like that. As you develop your skills and you show you have the skills that we're really looking for, which goes beyond the technical, you got to have people skills, you got to have math skills, you got to have interpersonal skills, communication skills, that you can advance. There's a logical career advancement within our industry. I mean, all of our service managers used to be technicians. Okay, and then our sales guys all generally used to be in the field learning the trade, and it's just a natural progression as they, maybe don't want to carry tools anymore, that they work themselves into a higher paying job that has more responsibility. Now they're supervising people, so there's just a real career path. Generally starts out at the entry level being somewhere in the installer and or service technician level.
So we've got this shortage of folks. We're not able to fill the need that's going on here in Texas. We're talking about incredible population growth in Texas over the next 10, 15, 20 years, and we're going to start running behind the curve. So if you've got kids or young adults or veterans or whatever, those folks that are wanting to come in and find a good, stable career path, what are some of the things that they may need to be successful in this industry that go beyond the scope of having that technical expertise, that maybe go into customer service? What are we looking for that is if we start, I said, Matt, Stephanie, and Roy, what are your prime objectives when you're hiring? What are some of those things that you're looking for?
We always say we hire for attitude and we train for knowledge. So we're looking for people that just want to go to work. They want to learn a trade, they want to learn, an industry, and they got the right attitude coming in. They want to learn, they are open-minded, They have some mechanical ability, obviously. They're going to have to understand how mechanical systems work.
Right.
But it's all about the attitude. It's wanting to come to work every day. It's wanting to, grow in a career and, advance as you're going along. So we want people that, that you can joke about it, but I mean, they got to show up to work. That's very important. We're very
Every day.
relied on that every day. And just come with an open mind and a willingness to learn. Because, like we were talking about, everybody wants to mentor the young people. Okay, everybody loves to teach others what they've learned over the years. Everybody had a mentor at some point in their careers.
Right.
So it's just a natural evolution where the older people, they're going to start mentoring the younger and let them come up and watch them grow as professionals. So it's a very dynamic and very consistent system in that regard.
Sure. Stephanie, what about you? What do you think has
some of the
been
qualities that we really look for, again, hire for attitude, train for skill. And that's where we're coming from. You could start out at this level, and maybe your skills need a little honing, and we can do that. We can help you. We can send you to training. We can do the mentoring. There's every opportunity. All we need to do is make sure that you have that right attitude every day, that a good work ethic. Be enthusiastic.
Right.
If we offer you Saturday work, and it requires that sometimes, be enthusiastic. Be the first one out there. So, your skills are, you could start out with the basic skills. Well, we're there. That's what we're there for, to help you get better. And say that if you want to, we like everybody to cross-train. Everybody gets a little taste of what the installers do, of what the office does, of what the salesmen, our salesmen like to ride with the technicians, and then vice versa. So, but the good work ethic and the enthusiasm and just being motivated.
Sure. Roy, now you do a lot of training in Lubbock.
Right.
So you get a baseline and a starting right with some of the folks that are just barely into the industry.
Absolutely.
What do you see as important coming into this industry?
Well, I think what I really see is that we're going to need to attract a different type of clientele, because what we've typically in the past had those that maybe didn't go to college, didn't go to technical school, maybe weren't from high school counseled a direction.
Sure.
So they hit a certain age, and now they've been job to job, and now they're looking for work. And some of them don't have the math skills, the reading skills, the English skills, the communication skills. I think what we've got to do is, with this new group of workers, what we call the millennials, we all have different ideas of who they are. We've got to retrain ourselves as well, because they're an empowerment type mentality. Well, we need to take advantage of that, because if you take advantage of their technical skills and computer skills, and they think in a whole different box. So realistically, in our training, I'm trying to rebuild my training to look like that. Okay. So hey, what do y'all want? Where can we go with that? We're not necessarily the technical skills, but what can I do with that technical skill as I advance? Because they want to advance fast. Our age allows them to advance fast, because there's so many people in the industry that are going to be retiring 8 to 10 years. I mean, if the average age is 50 to 55, 10 to 15 years, that whole group is gone, and that's who's running this industry today. So, I guess partially it's us, how we go to market with our training and develop those career paths to fit those who are coming to our industry. Now, we're going to start seeing more already looking at our industry, because there are becoming more opportunities. They're starting to see the job growth. A few years ago, that statistic wasn't even real, that 35% opportunity in our market. It wasn't there.
But it is. You feel like it is now.
It is now. And as it continues to grow, I don't think it's going to slow down, but it's a different skill level.
Sure.
We still need installers. We still need service techs. We also need controls and communication people on top of to help our installers, because this equipment is smart and it does a lot of stuff. And we've got to be able to train to that and have that thought. And then, it also changes the way we look and sell our equipment. Our salesmen today do we really understand how smart these units are and all the opportunities and controls and things? We know what people tell us and what the manufacturers say. These kids are thinking way out of the box. Or what it can do. That, smart house means nothing to them. Everything's smart. The cars are smart. And so I think just recreating our focus and developing a real career path, not where you go to work for Matt and I'm going to work 5 or 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years before my next opportunity comes up because the other guy retires or leaves. Yeah. And that's what it used to be. If you hung around long enough, you got a promotion, you had an opportunity. So we've got to look at promotional opportunities.
So what about, I know we touched upon the skills that you all feel like are important, but if I'm in school or there's a big push to potentially bring back vocational programs into the schools. Mm-hmm. On the scholastic level, and strictly scholastic level, because I think that needs to be discussed. Scholastically, what is important? Math, sciences, English, writing out invoices and being able to communicate. I mean, what truly is important in our industry, and what maybe would be considered the fluff?
Well, I don't know about the fluff so much myself, but the basic core courses are still important. I mean, your English classes, you got to be able to communicate with a customer. You got to look a homeowner or a business owner in the eye and explain to them what you found, what you're doing, what have you. So communication is huge. Obviously mathematics and the sciences and the basic aptitude to be able to understand the refrigeration cycle and things like that. But their computer skills are huge too, because we use tablets a lot now for all our service technicians and stuff like that. And it's just amazing to see the 25-year-old and how they go about using a tablet compared to the 35-year-old that isn't quite as fast. And it's actually kind of neat because our younger techs are really pushing us to improve our tablets and improve all our forms and all our applications technology and stuff that they're using. So they got a lot of understanding and knowledge of how the tools can be used. They don't know as much about the actual work they're doing, but they know how the tools can be used much more effectively.
So this is this career path, or taking a career path, HVAC, and getting into the industry. You can make money in this industry, right? And
Absolutely.
In actuality, fairly quickly into the industry, you can be making a pretty decent salary. I mean, what do you guys see as kind of the averages in the industry?
Well, I think it probably varies regionally a little bit, but I think the state averages are, for a service technician or installer is somewhere in the mid-40s for an annual compensation.
Not too bad.
And that's for, 3 to 5 years of experience type of thing. And it can certainly go up from there because as the demand for these positions, increases, I think naturally with that and supply and demand economics, that those wages are only going to go up higher and higher.
Stephanie, Roy, what do y'all say?
Very much so. If you have selling techs, it can dramatically increase because they're not only servicing and doing the repair, but they're also selling at the same time. So that's a very good, I would say, wage for the amount of experience, 3 to 5 years. Mid-40s would just be, I think, right in the ball game, and only going upward.
In the grand scheme of things, so we have this shortage of folks that are coming into the industry potentially. We have this big plethora of jobs that are going to come onto the market because the Texas construction pace is fixing to just go crazy with all these people coming into Texas. And as the market grows, we're not going to be able to meet this demand. What is TACCA doing, and the local TACCA chapters? What are they doing, and what are we doing to try to help this situation?
Well, we're trying to align ourselves with some of the legislative initiatives that are going forward, namely vocational schools and following what they're trying to do to get the vocational programs back into the high school and the early college years type thing after high school. So TACCA is sponsoring a bill this year to try and clean up some of our licensing occupational code that gives youngsters, young men and women coming out of high school to, shorten the duration they are required to follow to get a license. So we're trying to be proactive in that sense, that we will allow, or we're supporting legislation that will, promote a reduction in the licensing time frame by 12 months, I guess it is, that we're going to look to try and shorten that overall time frame, so that a young kid that wants to be a business owner, for example, can come out, get the necessary training through high school, pass some tests, show some core competency basically, and then be on the schedule to apply for their master's license or their HVAC license.
Potentially a year earlier.
Potentially a year earlier, 12 months earlier.
So, that being said, so we're talking about the Lieutenant Governor's PTEC initiative and bringing more vocational programs back to the schools and getting these aligned with the HVAC license law so that it does mesh more. Roy, what do you see as being an important aspect of that? What to you is the most important part of that alignment of TACCA trying to bring these vocational programs back?
Well, we're preparing for the future. So in that program, it may take a year or two before it fully implements, 6 to 8 years before we start seeing the results of it. But we're preparing our industry as it begins to change for that new crop of technicians and what they're going to need. And it's going to help open our eyes, I think, as we develop these programs as to the educational requirements that you're asking about, and what their opportunities are. And I think it's going to open up the opportunity to talk to the business owners and teach the business owners, because you asked earlier, what is TACCA doing? I think we as TACCA, we're looking, we're studying, we're trying to figure out what the industry needs. Most business owners out there, they're just trying to figure out why they can't hire somebody and where the technicians will come from. We're actually taking that step. We're moving forward. We're outside that box. We're trying to create that path, and we're on a track that I'm not sure anybody else is really thinking about for the immediate. Now the PTAC, I think we're gonna really see a lot of growth out of that and opportunities for kids, because the push a number of years ago was college. Mm-hmm. Everybody was going to college. You can go to college. What do I do now? Well, they may work for a little while and go somewhere else. Now they're going to possibly graduate, maybe even go a couple of extra years and have a skill. Whether they take and use that skill in our industry or not, they're going to go to another industry and be a skilled worker, have opportunities. And who knows? They might come back to our industry in 10 years after life changes and does their things and become the technician we've been asking for. So I think it's just preparing for the future is the answer.
Sure. Stephanie, now you've been involved in the greater Kingwood area with the local community college,
Yes,
is that correct? So you kind of have some actual hands-on on this.
For 19 years, I served on the board of trustees for one of the largest community colleges in Houston, in Texas, and very interested. TACCA is creating the vision and planning the strategies to take our individuals, our people that are attending the community colleges, that are people who are attending the trade schools, and creating that vision that says you can go from here to here, and here's the pathway. And I think that all of our planning and the things that we want to do is not only for right now but for the future, to help we have the shortage. We're very short, but it does take time to implement these new programs. But I think that we're ahead of the curve, because we are trying to see down the road and trying to create for the current business owners and future business owners and just future technicians or whatever they want to be. Again, the opportunity is there.
Right.
And I think that's just a good point that both of y'all made, that, as members of the TACCA Board of Directors, we're representing our industry. We're not necessarily looking after our own businesses, but we're looking after the HVAC industry in Texas. So we're trying to look around the corners down the road and see what the problems are going to be for our industry, and that's exactly what we're trying to address with the labor shortage. Is that okay? The data shows that it's right there out in front of us. We got a problem. What are we going to do to help our industry for the future people that are running businesses? It's not going to be us when this all takes effect necessarily, but for the betterment of the whole industry, we're trying to stay out in front of that and making sure that we have a very solid industry going forward,
Right.
and have the people that we need to do the jobs.
Well, Matt, Roy, Stephanie, I really do appreciate this. I know that our members are always wanting to know what you as board members, and obviously this is one of Matt's big priorities as the president here in 2015, what TACCA is doing and trying to do to improve the professionalism of the industry, make the technicians that much better, bring more technicians into the industry. And I feel like that you guys are doing a fantastic job in trying to set a standard that, as everyone said here, will be seen many years down the line,
Right.
Whenever it comes to the industry. And this could be something that could almost be y'all's legacy per se, whenever it comes to the HVAC industry, and that's a big deal. So I look forward to everything that's going to take place. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen with our potential bill and with some of the lieutenant governor's aspects and what they're looking to do. So I appreciate y'all's support very much, and appreciate your membership in TACCA. We hope that everybody that's not a member, it's a great time to join
Get on
TACCA.
board.
Yep,
I think you need
absolutely.
to get on board if you want to participate and move your company forward. I think this is the association that's going to we're going to be the leaders.
Great.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.